She's not what you'd expect. She's tough and feisty, but gentle and tender. She makes millions and gives millions to the poor. She cries, she laughs, she teaches, she comforts. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
This is Dani Johnson. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. Today's actually going to be much different than it usually is. We're going to have some fun. Yeah, you and I are going to have the opportunity to dream together. Oh, Dani, dreaming, schmeeming. I don't want to dream about nothing. Well, listen to me. You hang out with us for any length of time. I promise you, you're going to live a life that you did not know was possible. I was one of those people that had never left my hometown. I was one of those people that never had a dream about traveling around the world and eating different foods and seeing different people. I was the kind of person that was very judgmental and closed-minded to different colors of skin, slant of eyes. Just anybody that wasn't, in my mind, didn't look like the people that did in my neighborhood or my town. I was such a closed-minded fool and an idiot. But I got to tell you, man, since I've come out of that stupid stupor, wow, there's such a big world out there. So many great places to go and see and experience. Taste, man, taste. All these different tongues to hear. These languages that are so beautiful, and some of them not so much. But years ago, when I first got started in the business community, 25 years ago, in fact, almost 26. I'm getting old. Anyway, I got introduced to some people that challenged me about dreams, challenged me about travel, and asked me questions like, man, if you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do with your life? Where would you go? Who would you go with? If money was no object, what would your life look like? Would it look any different? And it really challenged me because I grew up in such a, very closed-minded culture. We never went anywhere. We never did anything, including like holidays was just the same 5 people around the table that was at the table the night before it was Christmas or before it was Thanksgiving. It was all just the same. There was nothing exciting. There wasn't the Disneyland vacation or, go off to a foreign country kind of vacation. We just didn't vacation at all. We just simply stayed home throughout the holidays. We just did nothing. And so those kind of habits kind of get inside of you. Or let's say that the family has a tradition of going up to Wisconsin, once a year in the Winnebago to go and see some family. And then don't forget the Minnesotans, because the Wisconsins always have cousins in Minnesota. And, you got to have your tapioca and let's watch the Vikings play, So maybe that's the family tradition. But I want to challenge you today. I do. Because so often in our country, very different than most other countries like ours around the world. We are a country that actually doesn't travel very much. We have a dream to travel. We like to pay for television that talks about travel. We like to buy travel magazines. We like to subscribe to travel websites. But largely, Americans don't travel. They stay within their own township or state. Very rarely ever cross over. It might be, like I said, Idaho, I might cross over into Washington, even though Canada is just right there, man, cross that border, see a different type of people, even though they pretty much are very similar to Americans. Very similar, not exact, but very similar. Or even south. Well, it's not very safe to go into Mexico these days, Dani. I mean, do you know what's going on there? Okay, fine, whatever excuse that you want to do. But I want to challenge you here. If money was no object, what would your life look like? Where would you go? What would you do? Would there be anything different than the way you're living it right now? I got asked that question many times over the last couple of decades, and I love that question. And it reminds me of this. This past, a few days back, I happened to be with one of my spiritual daughters, Isa, who we actually work together also. She heads up our marketing department. And something that she was working towards is paying off all of her debt, which she paid off $207,000 worth of debt in a little over 7.5 years. And she's completely debt-free. And so she just kept saying, man, when I get out of debt, then I'm going to do this. Now, mind you, the young lady did travel all over the world the entire time she was getting out of debt, which is why it took longer for her to get out of debt. The debt wasn't as a high priority as traveling around the world. And she's been to Bora Bora 6 times, been to Europe 4 or 5 times, down to Nicaragua twice. various different places. Australia 3 times, Canada 4 or 5 times. She's been all over the place. And prior to her coming to work with us at DaniJohnson.com, she had never left the United States of America. She had done a cross-country trip while she was in college, but that was about it. She was not somebody that, she didn't have a passport, although she had a dream to travel around the world, but she did not have a passport. And by the way, 2004, I was the same way. I had a dream to travel around the world, but I did not have a passport. You cannot travel around the world without a passport. Yes, I had gone down to the Caribbean. You know, back in those days, all you needed was your birth certificate, and you didn't need... You need a driver's license and birth certificate to go down to Puerto Rico or down to the Virgin Islands, and same with down through Mexico. That's all you needed. Today, you need a passport. But Dani, passports are expensive. But what if I could show you on the current budget that you're making even right now that you actually could travel to some really fun places, and maybe even eventually learning to budget better, or even increasing your income to go to some exotic places like Bora Bora or to Africa. I want you and I to talk about those I want us to pull off those dreams of traveling, because I know you have them. I know you do, because the travel industry is a multi-billion, I think it's $1 trillion industry. It's huge. And people in America like to spend money on watching it on TV or buying the magazine instead of saving that very money to actually take themselves on a beautiful vacation somewhere. So, hey, it's the time of year to be talking about vacations. So let's talk about those vacations. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? So wait, I'm going to go back to this conversation with Isa. So she's debt-free now, right? So now she's like, I'm going to go. You know, she wants to go crazy. And so here we even found, she made a list. And that's what I encourage you to do. Make a list of the countries you want to visit. You're like, countries I want to visit? I never thought about that. I was thinking I'd like to go to New York City sometime. Oh, come on, man. You got to think a bit bigger than the United States of America. Yes, U.S. is pretty. However, don't you want to see the Leaning Tower of Pisa? Don't you want to see the 43 different colors of water out in the middle of the South Pacific Ocean in Bora Bora with visibility of 200 feet? You don't even need to learn how to dive. You could simply just hang over a boat with a mast, put your head in the water, and you're going to see for 200 feet. If your eyes, of course, are that good. But you'll see everything. You'll see sharks swimming right below. You'll see stingrays if you're in shallow water, 3 feet of water. You don't even need to get in the water to see the stingrays. You can be on the boat watching those stingrays move and glide the way they do. And if you decide to get in the water, okay, we've done that. We used to have a home in Bora Bora. If you get in the water, they will flirt with you. Yes, they will actually come right up against you, trying to crawl up your leg and touching on your stomach. They're amazing creatures. Are you afraid? No, man, it's incredible. I don't know why in Bora Bora those stingrays are very, very, very friendly. They're not the ones that want to sting you, although they have that stinger. But anyway, and you can also swim with sharks if you're one of those adventurous type people. Oh gosh, it's a rush and a half to be able to swim with sharks. I've done it several times. My kids have done it more than I have. They're crazy. But anyway, those are like once in a lifetime experiences. What about jumping out of an airplane in Australia, in Byron Bay? Wow. Go to Byron Bay, which is where the little lobsters are quite plentiful. They call them, I'll forget it. Anyway, they call them bugs, but they're little tiny lobsters. Oh, they are so delicious. But in Byron Bay, oh, goodness. Going up 14,000 feet, being pushed out of an airplane. Tandem, of course. Can't believe I did that. but free falling for 9,000 feet. It only takes 1 minute to fall 9,000 feet from an airplane. And then for 5,000 feet next, the parachute opens, and wow, what a rush. Oh, gosh, the peace. I started crying once that parachute opened, because there was so much peace. It was so quiet. We were dropping through clouds. Could feel the mist of the clouds on my face. I literally just started to cry. I felt such a peace and such a silence after screaming my brains out for what seemed like to be an eternity. Anyway, come on, man. Quit living a boring life. Do you understand what I'm saying? Quit living a boring life. What if there was a way to budget a great vacation? What if there was a way to do it? Listen, according to USA Today, nearly half the Americans plan to travel this summer. Half, okay? The average traveler spends $1,415 per person for a summer vacation. That's $5,600 for a family of four on an average vacation. So now some people say, oh gosh, I could never afford that. Gosh, first of all, quit saying that. Quit saying that you could never afford to do that. Yes, you can. I could prove to you that if I took all of your bank statements over the last 12 months, you easily blew $5,600 on wasteful food that ended up in the trash. Not to mention your every morning coffee habit that cost you $4.50 to $5. Not to mention the food that you're buying at the gas station, that disgusting hot dog, which, hello, do you have any idea what's inside of a hot dog? Ew. Okay? And the sodas, your habits that you have of drinking sodas or Red Bulls, or the habits of the juices that you're drinking, or the teas or the coffees. Do you understand? You easily blew $5,600 on buying more clothing for yourself or your kids, and there's still tags on clothes in your closet even right now. There's so much. You've at least wasted $5,600 on stupid things. Come on, if you get honest with yourself, you know that is the truth. So the fact is, you really do have the money to go on a vacation. Now look at this. If you really let me go through your budget, I would easily find $10,000 on wasteful things. And you could have gone to where? Hawaii with that same family. You could have went down to Central America and rented a beautiful, beautiful house right on a cliff, listening to the ocean crash against the rocks. And you could have learned how to surf, and you could have taken, for just $10, you could have taken a horseback ride at sunset on one of the most gorgeous beaches in Nicaragua. Hello? You could have learned to surf really, really cheap. Yes, and could have eaten all organic food inside of a restaurant that grows all organic food right on their own property, and as well as have something like filet mignon, which is organic and, oh gosh, is amazing and so tender, and lobster tail for $20. You see, we close our mind before we do any research. But today, I want us to open our mind and look at what the possibilities are, where your family will be able to go on some unforgettable adventures, as well as get an education at the same time. Yes, an education, learning different tongues, foods, cultures. It makes people much more well-rounded and wise when they get outside of their own backyard. This is Dani Johnson. I'm going to take your call. We're going to talk about that dream vacation right after this.
Do you know what's been holding you back? The way you think. It's time to take on a whole new mindset.
The whole story of how I went from homeless to millions is right here in this book, First Steps to Wealth. I'd love to give you a free copy of this book. Just dial 888-757-8880. You can get your free copy of this book. It's like a real book, my friend. You can get an ebook copy for free right now, or if you'd like to pay the shipping to get this $15 book to your house, I'd be happy to send it to you. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of First Steps to Wealth today and begin on a brand new path of some great success.
Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what families are dealing with in the poverty-stricken village of Santa Pancha, Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic food, water, and housing needs. We are transforming that village. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation to Santa Pancha. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org.
I just heard this amazing story. One of our clients had written us telling us that they had used job domination and unlimited success and has absolutely exploded their career. He said, Dani, I don't know where I'd be today without job domination and unlimited success. Listen, Do you want more recognition from your coworkers? Do you want to be recommended to people all over the world? Do you want to be somebody that is highly sought after? Listen, if you're in a dead-end place where this gentleman found himself, but then learned new strategies and changed everything in his work life, and obviously this has resulted in higher bonuses and pay raises, you're next. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of Job Domination right now. 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880. Job Domination. That's what you need. It's time for you to dominate the job market and break through the rut that you're in.
This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Most people have traded their dream vacation for what? A Big Mac? A couple tacos at Taco Bell? A soda, a Red Bull, and coffee at Starbucks. Yes, they literally have. They've traded the cravings of their gut for, instead of going on that dream vacation, they've blown the money in these silly places. Now, I know right now you probably want to argue with me till you're blue in the face. Nuh-uh, Dani, I don't have that kind of money. Well, you got that kind of money to blow on cigarettes, friend. You got that kind of money to blow on Netflix, friend, on, whatever other place that you're renting movies from, friend, that high-speed internet that isn't being used for anything besides pornography, friend. Hello? Hey, if you were a business owner and you're actually making money from the internet, then you probably should have high-speed internet. But outside of that, that's simply just a luxury. And when you look back on your life, you got to ask yourself, am I really living it to the fullest? Am I experiencing what I want to experience? Am I doing what I said I wanted to do when I first ventured out in life? Well, we have joining me today, Carrie Walters from Utah, who asked herself that very same question. Man, she'd been living a boring life and kept putting it off, wanted to travel, but putting it off. Check out what she's changed since then and the kind of experiences that she has had as a direct result. Carrie, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, Dani. Good morning.
Good. So you were that girl that never traveled anywhere and said you were going to eventually.
Absolutely. All we did when I was a kid was go visit the grandparents in Idaho or go visit grandparents in California, and that was it. We never did anything else. But it was always my dream to go places. Whenever these little, sign-up sheets for field trips would come up in school, I'd take them to my parents and say, please, can I go? And more often than not, they usually would say no for whatever reason. But when I got into high school, a trip came around with the art history class that was going to Europe for a month.
Wow.
I was just like, I'm not in the art history class, but can I please
go
come on this trip? So talked to the teachers, talked to the friends, started making friends with kids in the class, and they said that I could go. Then they had to present it to my dad, and at first he said no, but I just had to keep persisting, and he saw how totally serious I was about this. And that was the first time that I had ever gone out of the country at 17.
Wow. What was that experience like, though? Think about that, right? Because when you're 17, right, and all you've ever known is Utah, Idaho, and California, Lord have mercy, going off to Europe, how did that impact you as a person?
Oh, my gosh. The world is so much bigger than any little corner that you're in. There's so many different foods to taste, so many different kinds of people, so many different kinds of language, history, museums, whatever. It exploded my mind. Yeah. And, I mean, you catch the bug after that. Then it was, okay, I'll do whatever job I have to do so I have enough money to go where I want to.
Yep.
It has to be done.
Yes, it does. And it does. The travel bug definitely gets inside of you. But the experiences that you get, even the challenges that you get of having to go through security, right, from TSA or packing your bags, or the flight gets delayed, or they lose your bag. First time I went to Israel, they lost my bag. And then I was leaving Israel a week later, and there was my bag at the airport, ready for me to pick up after having no clothes, no nothing for a whole week. It was awesome. Anyway, but okay, so then you became an adult. You got yourself a job. And what happened to your travel life, honey?
It kept going. I found a way that I could go live in China for 6 months. And what I decided to do was work however many jobs I needed to work to get that money.
Wow.
The only thing available was the $6 an hour job at a pizza shack and then some freelance stuff. But I didn't care. Like, you just get in, you work that job with absolute diligence. I mean, I got promoted to the manager in 7 weeks.
Wow.
Inside of this place, just because there was nothing that was going to get in the way of me doing this.
Wow.
And it worked. Saved up enough money in just a few months. Went and lived there for a while.
In China. You lived in China for 6 months.
Yeah.
China's on my list, girl. China is literally on my list. Maybe you might have to come with me when I go to China, because China is on that list, and I am going there. Period. End of story. And I'm done waiting for my husband to want to go there, because that's what I've been waiting for him to want to go there. It's like, no, I'm going. I am setting my calendar, and I'm going to China. If he wants to go, great, come along with me. But if you don't, I'm calling Carrie Walters. Carrie, will you personally tour me around China? Anyway, hold on one second, Carrie. We got to cut over to a quick break, because right now you're on a national tour seeing all 50 states. We want to hear about that trip. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue right after this.
If you've ever wanted to make millions, change the world, be the voice for the voiceless, and have a blast doing it, then you need to spend some time with this lady right here. She's been doing it for years, and she'll show you how.
This is your chance. This is your shot. Get your copy of War on Debt right now. There's one waiting for you that has your family's name on it. And inside that package is freedom. Your family's freedom is on the inside of that package. All you have to do is open it up, press play, and start applying what I teach you in this program. 888-757-8880. You and I are going to help your family become completely debt-free in the next 5 to 7 years. Just imagine how that's going to feel.
More resources, more training, more results. The DaniJohnson.com Insider Membership is your ultimate success shortcut. Get exclusive access to reports, videos, audios, ebooks, cheat sheets, and other training for your personal and professional life. This is truly DaniJohnson.com's best kept secret. Become an Insider member today and get on the fast track to success. Did you know you can see Dani Johnson live and in person? Go to DaniJohnson.com and find out about our next live event. First steps to success, register today. Call 866-760-8255 or go to DaniJohnson.com/FSTS. What multimillionaire do you know that volunteers their time to help ordinary people like you and me? There's only one. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Could you imagine living in China for 6 months? As a young person? No, I could never do that. Why would anyone want to do something like that? Come on, you need to get out of your little town in, Louisiana. You need to, leave Alabama and Tennessee. There's more to the world, my friend, than just the United States of America. Now, mind you, U.S. has some beautiful places to see. What's still on my list to go and visit is the Grand Tetons, but that is about it. And why? I've seen most of the states around this country, but man, once you get outside of the country and you start traveling around the world, there's just something that happens inside of you. One of the things that happened for me personally is how small I realized our country was and how blessed our country was, because I travel a lot to third world countries, more third world countries than I do in places like Europe. Although I went to 22 countries last year alone, most of which was with my family vacationing, some of which was with work, and it was awesome. But anyway, when you go to places like Central America or even certain parts of Mexico, and you see that extreme poverty, or like Haiti, like I was just there in December, it recalibrates who you are as a person and causes you to challenge yourself concerning money and how you're spending it, and also kind of breaks your heart to want to help the hopeless and to help the helpless, that you can actually make a difference. And so it does. Traveling can recalibrate you, not to mention going to places like Europe, and looking at history and how long this building has been here. Or like Israel, oh gosh, right? Touching the Western Wall of the temple that was built thousands of years ago. Being able to touch something or walk on something that is really, really, really old, and you just start to think, wow, how many people have been here, and wow, what was it like in those days? And what kind of conversations did they have? They're just, I don't know, there's an expansion that happens in your mind. You kind of come out of the marketing of the United States of America, and you begin to look at what your ancestors have done, where they came from, how things must have been. And there's just some creativity and innovation that begins to expand. And also looking at how good they were at so many things way back then before they had all the technology that we have today, and how successful they were. And you sit there and go, we haven't grown very much. So again, there's all kinds of great things that happen inside of you, but you got to start dreaming. You got to start planning. And yes, you got to start focusing and repurposing your finances so that you can go and create these awesome memories. Carrie Walters is a client of ours that came out to First Steps to Success years ago. And one of the goals that she had was to travel around the United States and hit all 50 states. And she hadn't done it, kind of been putting this thing off, and decided at the beginning of this year, was it the beginning of this year, Carrie, that you were jumping on board that sucker and doing it?
Yep, absolutely.
So how many states have you hit so far, right? It's been 7 months since the beginning of the year. Where are you at?
42 states down.
What's left?
Alaska, Hawaii, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut. So like that little cluster in the far northeast, and then kind of across oceans.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so far out of 42 states that you've been to, what, and somebody might be thinking like, oh, she must have rich parents. She must be married to a rich husband. You know, she, you know, how has she done this? You want to answer that?
Sure. Well, first, I'm single, not married, no kids. I have never taken a dime off of my parents. I left when I was 18, paid my way through college. I've never had a credit card in my life. And it comes down to the simple fact, if it's important to you, you'll find a way to do it. If it's not, you'll find an excuse.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
You can find a way to do it on a regular job, on a part-time job, on a full-time job. There's ways to do it. What really exploded my traveling was coming across the War on Debt program.
Yep.
And finding what was a necessity in my life versus what was a luxury in my life. And when you start finding where that wasteful spending is, and start channeling that to where you want it to go. So stop spending your money on stupid crap at Walmart.
Yep. And
go on a vacation 2 or 3 times a year.
Exactly.
It blew my mind. It's really that simple.
How much money did you save by using War on Debt? Did you squirrel away to be able to go and do all this traveling?
In the first 6 months of using that program, I'd saved $10,000. And in the 6 years since then, that's grown to over 6 figures.
So over $100,000 you've been able to save using War on Debt, being totally debt-free, and just looking, using those strategies in there of like, this is where wasteful spending is going. I want to purpose it to where I want to go. That's so exciting, Carrie. That's really, really awesome. I'm proud of you. Okay, so out of the 42 states you've been to so far, which one has been your best experience?
Oh, gosh, how do you even answer that? Each one is, special in its own way. Well, if you know people that live there and you can meet your friends, especially friends that I've met at First Steps or at Creating a Dynasty, 100 years ago, you would go on vacation for a fortnight, for 2 weeks with your friends, and then they would come to your place later in the year, and then you would all go somewhere else.
Yep.
And that's the kind of lifestyle and friends that I found in that community. Gosh, I just spent a couple of days out in New York City while driving up the East Coast.
Right.
It was really fun. And some of that time I got to spend with family and a lot by myself, and then with some friends just in different places. And it's fun to kind of mix it up like that. Yeah, absolutely. Carrie, thanks so much for sharing. I love it. And so your next international stop is going to be where? Well, if you count Alaska as, you have to kind of cross another country to get there, that's in about 6 weeks.
Nice.
And then really international is a trip to the Maldives.
Yes.
A group of islands in the middle of the Indian Ocean.
Yes.
January.
It's on my list. The Maldives is absolutely on my list. Hey, if you have not seen what the Maldives looks like, just Google it. Just Google Maldives. It'll make you go, what? I want to go there. Quit wanting and simply use what she did. Come on. She used war on debt. She didn't have any debt. So she used that system to be able to save money because it is so powerful. It's a powerful strategy of where wasteful money is going, and then you redirect it on taking you and your family to an awesome, awesome location like the Maldives. You know, them getting the experience of being in a country that speaks a foreign language and uses foreign foods, and such a powerful experience and a great bonding experience. Or if you're like Carrie, you're single, oh my gosh, what are you doing still staying in Connecticut? There's a bigger world out there. What are you doing still just hanging out in Texas? Jeez. There's so many more great places to see. Thank you so much, Carrie, for sharing. I appreciate you tremendously. Now we are going to be talking about the best vacation that you've ever had. 844-200-3264. Again, that's 844-200-3264. That's DANI. Call me. I want to hear about it. Or if there is a dream vacation on your list, there's a place you want to go and you want to know, how do I do this, Dani? How? Please tell me. How do I be able to plan for that? What's my next step on doing so? So I would love to get your call and I will help to advise you. I've traveled all over the world. Remember, I told you last year alone, on top of still working, I work 20 hours a week. I'm a homeschooling mom. I visit orphans every single year and still did 22 countries last year. So much fun. And I got some tricks to the trade. I do. I've got some secret little strategies that I've used to be able to do these kinds of things then, and be able to do it affordable so that you're not just blowing stupid money, but that you're being wise with the money and still being able to have the experience. You live once, friend. You live once. Please tell me that you're not going to live this life with nothing but Netflix or Blockbuster or Redbox, your job, your debt, and your house. Come on. Think about it. There's got to be more to life than what you're living. And most people have put their dreams to the wayside. They've dropped them in the trash. They forgot about them. They've just abandoned ship on them. And now what is it? I just hope not to die broke. I just hope that I'm not in debt when I die. I just hope I can pay off my bills someday. Come on, friend. Come on, Fred. Give me a break. Nothing becomes dynamic until it becomes specific. So today, I challenge you. Let's specifically carve out just one great vacation that you want to go on. Just one. There's all kinds of ways to do. Well, I won't be able to get the time off work. Listen, quit reaching for an excuse and let's start to dream. And you'll be amazed how you'll find a solution to get what you want and to do what you want. There is always a way. Come on, your mama taught you this one. Where there is a will, there is a way, right? Yes, you were taught that. Well, that is the truth. That still is true. So don't reach for the excuse. I don't get enough time off from work. I don't make enough money. I don't know how. I don't have a passport. Come on, let's stop with the excuses and let's start making a task list and checking one thing off at a time so that you can start getting the experiences that I believe you were put on this planet to get. It's a beautiful world. We live in a time where we could travel it. The whole thing. Let's do it together. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do with your life? Discover your own answer. Stay right here for more of The Dani Johnson Show.
I just heard this amazing story. One of our clients had written us telling us that they had used job domination and unlimited success and has absolutely exploded their career. He said, Dani, I don't know where I'd be today without job domination and unlimited success. Listen, do you want more recognition from your coworkers? Do you want to be recommended to people all over the world? Do you want to be somebody that is highly sought after? Listen, if you're in a dead-end place where this gentleman found himself, but then learned new strategies and changed everything in his work life, and obviously this has resulted in higher bonuses and pay raises, you're next. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of Job Domination right now. 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880. Job domination. That's what you need. It's time for you to dominate the job market and break through the rut that you're in.
Did you know you can take the Dani Johnson Show with you wherever you go? It's never been easier to stay up to date with the latest content from Dani with the DaniJohnson.com app. Watch or listen in the car, at the gym, or on the go. Download it now from the App Store and Google Play and never miss a show again. Your family, business, and bank account will thank you.
I'm so blessed that I found what is in Grooming the Next Generation for Success. This is a book that is being taught in universities around the world. It's been noted as the best book on parenting that has ever been written. Crazy, if you ask me. But the point is that this thing gets results. Get your copy today, 888-757-8880. Again, that's 888-757-8880. Or go to DaniJohnson.com. That's DANI Johnson.com. Get your copy today.
If you've ever wanted to make millions, change the world, be the voice for the voiceless, and have a blast doing it, then you need to spend some time with this lady right here. She's been doing it for years, and she'll show you how. It's the Dani Johnson Show.
We all have dreams to go somewhere, to do something. To be honest with you, I really believe that there's a bit of an adventurous spirit inside of all of us. I really do. I do. How? Where's the proof? Because, man, imagine if the explorers back from the European areas, even from Spain, this country would not exist, right? We wouldn't have what we have. The people who were exploring, even the pilgrims, like, we're out of here. We want to go see this new place. Or even like in Norway. Wow, the Vikings, let's just go and talk about them. These suckers that just like make this boat and decide to get on it and just, let's see where it goes. That's so crazy. I believe that the people of old must have been a bit more risk-taking than many of us of today. I'm not so sure that us in the modern world have become smarter. I think we've become a bit dumber, a bit more lackadaisical, apathetic, and also not as happy as maybe some of those that were here long before we were. But you see, I believe exploration and adventure is inside of every single child. I know that. When was the last time you had fun? When was the last time you dreamed? When was the last time you did something wild and crazy, like had a pill fight? Yeah, I said pillow fight. With your husband or your wife or your kids. When was the last time you played hide and seek in the house? When was the last time you tried a new food? When was the last time you tried to have a conversation with a pure foreigner that you could not understand each other? Come on. What would I do that for, Dani? It don't make no sense. Yes, it does make sense. You got to expand your thinking. You have to expand your mindset. Dream, friend. There's a huge world out there. Now, certainly I wouldn't want to paint it, but I want to see it. I want to eat the foods in all of those different places. I don't want to eat the food in Africa, though. I don't want to eat monkey brains. I know that not everyone eats monkey brains there, but if you end up with the chief and he's going to honor you as his guest, you're going to eat monkey brains or monkey intestines and stuff like that. I think I'll say I'm fasting. I'm on a fruit and vegetable fast. I'm not here to eat. But yeah, like, have you ever had cheese fondue in Geneva, Switzerland? Dude, you have to. I'm telling you. They serve it, okay? It's gorgeous. And this cheese is like so long, right? You dip this incredible bread. I mean, you haven't had bread unless you've gone over to Europe. I'm serious. And Bora Bora. Bora Bora makes beautiful baguettes. But I'm telling you, this bread, it's the outside so hardened and rustic, and the inside so, so elastic. It's like still elastic. And you pitch that sucker with the fork. You dip that into this cheese sauce. Again, Geneva, Switzerland. Imagine the sights in Geneva. Just Google Geneva, Switzerland. Look at this. So you dip that in, and it tastes so good. Oh, now, you might be vegan going, ew. Dani, I don't eat cheese. I'm sorry. Have some more vegetables or some soy. Anyway, we're talking about your dream vacation. There's so many different ways to be able to do it. Quit closing your mind, as so many people do. So so many people just shut off their mind immediately. And in the first hour of the Dani Johnson Show, we heard several testimonies of people that did the same thing, but then overcame and they made a point. This is where I'm going, and they did it. So either I want to hear about your best vacation you have ever had, or I want to hear about, or if you have questions about how do I plan that vacation? How do I afford it? How do I make it work? Call me right now, 844-200-DANI. Again, that's 844-200-3264. 844-200-3264. I've got, Candace on line 3 from Dayton, Texas. Candace, you want to share with us your dream vacation?
I do. I want to go to Greece so bad.
Yes.
I work Greek, and all our friends always, every summer we go to Greece, and my mom was always, oh, we don't have the money, we don't have this, we don't have that, and I've fallen into the same trap.
Yep.
And I want to take my kids. I have a 16-year-old and almost 17 actually, and a 15-year-old. And my husband and I want to get them there so bad.
Yes.
And we just can't figure out how.
Okay, do this for me. Okay, what I want you to do, first of all, there's lots of cheap ways to get to Greece. And there's certain times of the year that are cheaper than others. Okay? So, and forget about the fact that they're in school. Who cares? I promise you that.
They're homeschooled.
There you go, Mommy. So there's no excuse. This is why we homeschooled our kids all these years also. All 5 of the kids have been homeschooled at some point inside of their scholastic career. But part of it is that because part of their homeschool education was traveling around the world. Instead of reading about Greece, they got to walk on the streets of Greece. They got to smell the sea and smell the food that came from the sea as the little restaurant is sitting right in front of the ocean. They got to go in and walk through those medieval towns and buildings and some churches and hear about the history that was in Greece, as well as the current economic status that is going on in Greece, which, by the way, is nothing but a bunch of big jokes. They're prospering like crazy. Every island I've visited in the last 4 years have been prospering like crazy, but drama likes to sell. Anyway, so Candace, here's what I want you to do. I want you to print out your bank statement. And I want you and your husband and your children to get highlighters in your hands, and you pick the color for the category. And so one highlighter is going to go towards food. How much has the family spent on food just last month? I want you to do this for the last 12 months, actually, but let's start with the month of June, okay, as an example. And I want you to highlight how much has been spent on food, and then use a different color highlighter for how much has been spent on eating out. Eating out qualifies as fast food, the gas station food, the drive-through Starbucks, or the drive-through, like Dairy Queens. I want you to add up all of that, whether it's fine dining or not so fine dining. I want you to add up all of that money that was spent in that area. Then I want you to divide it by this. How many people are in the household that you are providing food for right now?
4.
Okay. So that means the food budget should be $20 per person per week. $20 per person per week. Okay. So that means that's $80 per week. Got it? So then multiply that times 4, and that gives you what the food monthly budget should be. I want you to subtract that. I mean, now you're going to multiply that times 12, and then subtract it from how much you have actually spent on food for the last year, and you will find there are your plane tickets.
Right.
There is your hotel. But you actually can stay for free over there because you have family over there, okay? So there is the plane ticket. There is the food that you would have spent money to buy food while you're in Greece. No joke. Just from the food, just from what we've spent on food, there is your Greek yearly vacation. If you simply want, and the whole family can make the decision, guys. We can totally trim our food budget way back, and that's going to pay for plane tickets, accommodations, and for our food while we're in Greece. How many of you want to shrink this budget down big time and cut out some of these nasty food habits so we can get on vacation to Greece? You might be able to do it in 6 months, Mommy. I'm serious. You very well might be able to get to Greece in the next 6 months. Check October time.
Have you been looking in my windows or something? Because That is exactly the problem.
Yep. It's the problem in almost every single household. You know, it's the same problem as why people are in debt. And it's sad because it's so easy to pay off debt just with food. Just with food. And again, it's about prioritizing, Candace. Look at you. I can hear the passion. I want to take my family to Greece. My husband and I want to take my family to Greece. The whole family wants to go to Greece. We still haven't figured it out. Then make it happen. It is simply as this. When you've got a goal that's worth working towards, you'll make the appropriate adjustments. And the whole family will say, shoot, man, no, McDonald's isn't worth it. We're going to Greece. No way is the gas station hot dog worth it. We're going to Greece. No way is Dairy Queen worth it. We're going to Greece. Get a poster, put it up on the wall, and start going. We're going to Greece. Give it a date and a time. And every time y'all have a craving to be going to the grocery store when you have a house full of food, you say, we're going to Greece, baby. It's Greece or bust. I'm excited for you, Candace. I can't wait to hear about your Greek vacation. And man, you might be able to go for a whole month. You just shock yourself. I love it. Thanks for the call, Candace. I appreciate you. Okay, next, traveling on a budget. Nisa from Dallas, Texas. Welcome to the Dani Johnson. Texas is on fire today. Texans want to go someplace. Hi, Nisa. What can I do for you?
I'm so excited to talk to you. I talk about you all the time. You've transformed my life. I want to say thank you for what you do. I recently traveled to Puerto Rico in style on my 40th birthday. The secret for me was I have a best friend that's from the island.
Yep.
And she gave me some amazing tips. There are small budget motels that are gorgeous. And they are seaside. And really and truly only the natives and the locals know about these places in Puerto Rico. So we basically spent about $100 a night, and we had what appeared to be a private beach. And it was a 5-day blissful vacation. I think I counted maybe 10 total people on our quote-unquote private beach for pennies to the dollar.
In Puerto Rico, of all places, you would never guess that. Wow.
And in Spanish, they call them paradores.
Wow.
And so these are lovely local places that people like you and I, if we're just jumping on the internet, we have no idea about these places. They're not super posh. They're nice.
You don't need it. If it's nice and it's clean, who needs posh? Who the heck needs posh? And not only that, if you can arrange a little kitchenette, you can cook while you're there. It's so simple. And that's how we travel on a budget, is that I will cook. We just came back from Nicaragua. You know, and my husband is the one that likes to eat out, but I'm the one that likes to save money. So it's like, all right, we're gonna meet in the middle here. Half the time I'm cooking, half the time we'll go and eat out. But it's simple to do that. Breakfast and lunch, right? What do? You get a couple of coconuts, you get a couple of papayas, a pineapple, bam.
Incredible. We went to the local grocery store.
Exactly.
And picked up some staples, and we had waters, and we had some, little chipsies and crackers and things like that. But the best part of all was walking from our quote-unquote private beach down the beach to another completely different beach on foot, barefooted in the sand, and we discovered an abandoned train tunnel. It was so romantic, and the whole time I'm calling my girlfriend here in the States, and I'm like, okay, what do you want to do next? She's like, okay, this is what you're going to do today.
Go do here. Go. Wow. So you had your stinking private little travel agent guiding you all the way through. I love it. No excuse. Get on vacation. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue after this.
Be sure to tell a friend about the Dani Johnson Show. It just might be the key to the breakthrough they need.
The whole story of how I went from homeless to millions is right here in this book, First Steps to Wealth. I'd love to give you a free copy of this book. Just dial 888-757-8880. You can get your free copy of this book. It's like a real book, my friend. You can get an ebook copy for free right now, or if you'd like to pay the shipping to get this $15 book to your house, I'd be happy to send it to you. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of First Steps to Wealth today and begin on a brand new path of some great success. Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what families are dealing with in the poverty-stricken village of Santa Pancha, Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic food, water, and housing needs. We are transforming that village. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation to Santa Pancha. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org.
More resources, more training, more results. The DaniJohnson.com Insider Membership is your ultimate success shortcut. Get exclusive access to reports, videos, audios, ebooks, cheat sheets, and other training for your personal and professional life. This is truly DaniJohnson.com's best kept secret. Become an Insider member today and get on the fast track to success. So what's keeping you stuck? It's time to get it out of your way for good. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Come on, is it worth it? Living a boring life just to have your drive-through habits fulfilled? This is Dani Johnson. We're talking about those awesome vacations that you've been putting off for a very long time. Now, listen, I don't recommend you going into debt to go on vacation. I feel like that is the dumbest thing that you can actually do. But you can certainly sell your junk that's in your garage you haven't used in years and pay for the vacation. You could certainly sell your clothes that you don't fit in anymore. You might have 2 or 3 different sizes in your closet, friend, of clothes. Sell the clothes. Put them at a consignment store. Make some money on the clothes. Have a garage sale. What about all those tools, Bob, that you bought? All 200 of them, and all you use is a tape measure, a hammer, and a Leatherman. Huh? You don't need the other 198 tools, friend. Sell them. Sell your junk. Some other fool is going to buy it and take your family on a great vacation. Maybe split the money that you're going to make by selling all that junk and pay off some debt and then take the rest as a reward and go on a vacation. You do not need to go into debt to go on vacation. You simply can make choices. Wise choices. I'm in the midst of teaching a class right now. It's called Nuclear Coaching. And there was a small group of people that had to go through some serious qualifications and an application in order to get into that coaching program. And I found, because I actually go through people's budgets with them in this coaching program, because we're trying to train them up to be in that 2% financial independence department instead of the dying broke at 65 department and dependent on your family, friends, and federal government for the main source of income. So what we've done is everyone has had to send in their bank statements, obviously not with their accounts, their credit card statements, to where we can see where all the money is actually going. One particular individual that was in the class spent $2,200 in 1 month on entertainment. Another woman spent $1,300 on entertainment, as well as $1,300 on food that month, and it's just her and her husband. There is no children. So when I looked at these budgets, I gasped, my friend. I absolutely gasped. First of all, they did too, because they had never printed out their bank statement. They had never taken a highlighter to the bank statement to see where all the money was going. Once they saw where that money was going, they were nearly mortified. And I asked him, is it worth it? Is it worth eating out 3 nights a week or 4 nights a week or days a week, right? Somehow people think driving through their favorite fast food place is not eating out. It is. Some people think buying those snacks, the couple candy bars, the Coke at the gas station while you're pumping your gas, that is not eating out. Yes, it is. Not high quality food, certainly not a high quality reward. Absolutely a guarantee of an extra beer gut and an extra bubble butt. Hello? Some, high blood pressure. Yeah, some high cholesterol to tap into it. And don't forget about diabetes. Is it really all worth it? No, it's not. But what is worth it is really printing out that bank statement and looking, where's the money going? And now redirect it. You can redirect it towards paying off debt, but more importantly, you need a fund budget. And that fund budget can be accumulated to taking the family on a dream vacation. Come on, can we stop dreaming about Hawaii? There's so many other more beautiful places than Hawaii. Sorry to tell you, I used to live there. Bora Bora. Keep going. Keep flying. There's 5 more hours and 3 more hours and you'll be in Bora Bora. It takes 5 hours to get from LA to Hawaii and 3 extra hours to get down to Bora Bora. So worth it. So worth it. 8-hour flight, that ain't nothing to see the most beautiful island in all of the world. The place that celebrities go to have their weddings, the place they go for vacation. There's a reason why. It truly is, it's been noted, the most beautiful island in all of the world. Don't you want to see it? My first time there in 2006, I got off the airplane, by the way. The airport is on an island. There's no cars coming to pick you up to drive you to a hotel. No, there are boats waiting to capture you to take you to your hotel. And our first hotel was about a 15-minute boat ride. Wow. Our room was floating on the ocean and the beautiful lagoon of Bora Bora. Oh, gosh, so spectacular. I wept when I saw it because my eyes had never experienced something so beautiful before. My eyes, my nose, my body, my physical body. In fact, I was that person that, I never talked about heaven or never wanted to go to heaven. To me, it's like I want to make sure that I'm living a good life here on earth and that I'm honoring my Father in heaven while I'm here. I've not been one like I can't wait to get to heaven kind of person. Once I saw Bora Bora, that changed. Wow. The beauty of the Lord is shown in Bora Bora, where the Bible talks about it in so many worship songs that talk about his beauty. Wow. I'm sorry, you're not going to see that in New York City. Nope. Or New Jersey. You're not going to see that there. But wow. If you actually started to dream and you started to plan and you began to budget, you'll find yourself in some of those beautiful places around the world, and you'll find yourself debt-free as well. Or also do this. This is what we've done with vacations too, almost every year, that we go to a place in a third world country. We vacation a couple times a year, maybe more than a couple times a year. And again, that's all budgeting. I feed my family on less than $100 a week. I cook for 6 to 8 every single night, and I'm a gourmet cook 6 nights a week. 1 night a week, my husband and I go on a date. So we don't eat out. I don't eat out. My lunch is my garden. The cucumbers, the green beans, the lettuce, my giant zucchinis. That's my lunch. I choose to eat what I grow so that I can have that money to go and see the world. So one of the things that we've done is that instead of celebrating Christmas the way everybody does, buying a bunch of junk that ends up in the trash eventually or given to someone else, we use that budget and take our kids to foreign countries. Yeah. Like Nicaragua, Belize, or Haiti. Going to a third world country that has nothing and helping the poor. And part of that vacation is seeing the beaches or going on hikes and then again getting in and helping places like Kadwa, Haiti, who an earthquake destroyed their water, destroyed their crops, destroyed their homes, and they have absolutely nothing. When my American children go and hold a child who has no smile and a swollen belly and has no clothing on, they see the reality of what they could have been born into. They see the reality of the pain and the hurt and the suffering instead of, oh, Roman took my toy and I'm so mad. It makes our first world problems seem like nothing when you get into a third world and you see the real problems is no water and no food. It's a great vacation. It really is. It's life-changing. It's bonding for the entire family. I encourage you to do that. In fact, why don't you and the whole family, come on, there's the rest of this year you could plan this, that your family builds a home for one of these homeless families like Fida, who has 9 children. Husband took off because he didn't know how to provide for the family and left her alone with nothing. Go to kingsransom.org. Look at all the different places that we're helping to build homes or orphanages or water supplies. But Kadwa, Haiti is number 1 on my list this year. Kadwa, Haiti, kingsransom.org to help Kadwa. And set a goal for the whole family that for Christmas, maybe you build them a house. It's only $6,500 to build Fida a brand new house. And then you can all go down on vacation to see it. There's beaches in Haiti. There's beauty in Haiti. And there's also poverty there as well. You could really have an awesome time doing something meaningful as well as doing something bonding and helping others at the same time. Kingsransom.org, that is, again, kingsransom.org. Do what you can. Give what you can. Set a goal. Live a dream. This is Dani Johnson. Thanks so much for joining me today. God bless you. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.
If this episode was an encouragement to you, go to DaniJohnson.com and share it with your friends now. You never know who else needs to hear it. This has been The Dani Johnson Show. Join us every weekday at 7 a.m. for more insights that will help you get to the life you've always wanted.